What's going on, everyone? It's your boy GIJOE aka dripmode, and welcome back. It's 2022, so first I want to say Happy New Year's, guys. And today's video is gonna be a update video of my collection. Yes! 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 A lot of you guys have been asking me, man, I want to see that collection, I want to see those updates, and today's that day. Now, for those that are new to my channel, I would suggest to go back into my channel and watch the beginning of my journey from when I started 4 years ago in my apartment. Then fast forward to 2020, I was able to get my new house right when the pandemic started, and during that pandemic we had a lot of time, so I had a lot of time to expand this collection with new dioramas and new figurines and even vintage figurines that I was able to retrieve back. And I'm so excited for those things, and I want to showcase all of this to you guys. So I want you guys to sit back and enjoy, because this is gonna be a long video. So let's get to it, guys. Alright, so let's get started. This is my office. This is where I spend most of my time every day, because I also work from home in my daytime job, working as a designer at for the gaming department. So here you can see my monitors, my PC, my Mac. Also I got some gaming peripherals from Alienware. And yeah, this is where all the magic happens. This is where I create my dioramas, and this is where I also work. So let's move right along. Here we got Rocky. Out of the Rocky saga, Rocky 4 is my favorite. And here you got Rocky, you know, just with the flag, because he won, avenging Apollo's death from the defeat of Ivan Drago. So here he is all defeated. And this ring is a prop that I got from WWE that I'm going to use it for a future diorama for Rocky 4. So you guys always see this in the back when I record, so just want to let you guys know the plans for this setup. Here we got some vintage Rockies. Here you got Ivan Drago's wife, and then here you got some Migos Rocky. So this is from the original Rocky. And then over here, BST is making some really cool toys, and this is Big Trouble in Little China, and this is Lightning. Now here we got Spawn. Mr. McFarlane made a comeback, and he's re-releasing or updating some of his classic figurines from the past, like the Clown, Violator, Hellspawn, the Mandarin, and much more. Up here you can see I also have the Kickstarter Spawn, and you got the Mortal Kombat Spawn with the dial. You can see that video on my channel. And here you got some variations of Spawn from Mortal Kombat, and you got the statuette with the mask. Then we got here is Firestar, and I put her right next to my Hellfire Club Pulse Con exclusive, and I really love the packaging. I think they made this very smart, where it opens up like barn doors and you get to display it like this. So I chose to display it in its entirety in this package. Up here you can see a beautiful illustration of the White Queen, Jean Grey, Donald Pierce, and you got Sebastian. And up here you can see some portraits and some descriptions, and you can see them displayed with a nice background. So very cool way of displaying your toys. Now on the top here we got Wolverine, Deadpool, and these are play arts. These guys are like maybe 1/6 scale, and it's definitely a variation of the Marvel characters. Moving right along, we got The Witcher. This is the golden label of The Witcher from the video game, and just got into it. I am a fan of the game. The show, I just got into it recently. So maybe I'll start collecting more of them. On top, you got one of the demons from Doom. Now here in this shelf right here, I got a couple things going on. So first, let me start with these guys right here. This is Captain Tsubasa in Spanish, Super Campeones. I actually watched them as I was growing up. It's an anime of soccer, and here you got Oliver. He's the good guy, and you got Steve from the opposing team. You got Benji Price, the goalie, and here you got Oliver, the statuette. So I was very excited that I was able to get these because this is really, really touching on my childhood right here. Then NECA re-released the 1/4 scale of Batman from 1989, the Michael Keaton Batman, and man, I'm so happy that I have him because he was going for a really hefty price. Same thing with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, and you got the Penguin, Danny DeVito. Next, in the background, you see my GIJOE collection. Now, I tend to keep some toys in the box just because I actually appreciate toys in their boxes, because they sometimes take, some toy companies really take time to really design the packaging, and I really love the way they look in their entirety, especially by the way they number them. So, I'm missing maybe like 4 or 5 of them, but we're right along to this column right here. I got this space, so I decided to put King Kong. You guys can see this video. Here is King Kong fighting the airplanes on top of the Empire State Building. Moving right along, we got Beetlejuice, and these two are signature characters. These are the two, this is the couple that lived in the house and died. They become ghosts, and they're trying to scare off the tenants, so they make these cool faces. So I couldn't believe these figures existed, so I just was lucky to obtain them and decided to just leave them in their packaging. Moving right along, you got Alice in Wonderland. This is a comic book variation back in the days from, I believe this is Image Comics or Dark Horse. But in general, it's just a very sexy character, very sexy illustration, and it was going for a really cheap price, so I said, why not? Let me add it to my collection. And now here's really random, and I've got here Predator 2. Now this Predator is pretty badass because it's an exclusive, but also originally when you open the package, depending on how much light is going on, it actually lights up. Put the light right here in the corner, it starts firing up like electricity. Very cool. Thought this was really awesome. So I just want to keep him in this package as is because it's just pretty dope the way they thought about this.
We have Shell from Portal 2. Don't really have a place to really, you know, have her displayed. So I actually like her in the package because she looks like she's going through the portal like in the game. So just kept her in the package.
In my previous collection video, when I was moving here, I was talking about getting this display case from Akira, and I was able to get it, and then I decided to add some lights so I could illuminate the collection properly. So definitely need to continue working on this because I definitely want to expand it on top, but for now this will do. Now the middle, I left the middle open so that I could showcase some feature figures, or when I want to record a certain build, I could actually use this space to display it. So that's the whole point of that open space, and it looks pretty cool once you walk into my office. So there's a lot here, so I'm gonna go column by column, and let's start with Bloodsport. This is a recent diorama that I posted. This is a creation of its own, one of a kind. The dial was definitely fun to build, but what really was challenging and stepping out of the box was making these custom figurines of Jean-Claude Van Damme as Frank Dukes and Chun-Li, Mr. Bolo Young. Also, didn't really showcase this, but this is supposed to be Jax's, so I was working on him and I decided to put him here. He's not supposed to be there because he's supposed to be actually in the hospital as Frank Dukes is fighting Chun-Li. Now the other characters you see here are articulation icon figures, and I just put them all around just to kind of populate the scene. In the back you got Gargoyle. Now NECA really just killed it with this guy because it's a beautiful figure, and I just can't wait for the rest of them. So he has some beautiful wings, and I just wanted to have him hanging, and it looks like he's flying, so that's the whole purpose of it. Next up is my Voltron collection. First one you see here, these are the Mettels. These are actually, the tigers are 1/4 scale, and you could actually assemble them to be Voltron, and he's gonna be over 30 inches tall, but I like him in their tiger form, and I actually like the characters on top, just like in the cartoon where they're representing their respective lion. And finally I was able to get the blue lion. In one of my last videos I was having a hard time trying to find this lion, and finally I was able to obtain her. And in the back you got Super 7. Super 7 is also trying to get a taste of the Voltrons, and this is just a one piece figure. It doesn't come apart, but I just think it's really cool to add to the collection. These are my 1/6 scale Voltrons. Starting from left to right, here we got the paper Voltron. You can watch my video on my channel of me building this guy. It's just a beautiful sculpt. I can't believe it's made out of paper. There's so much detail. It was a challenge, but it was definitely worth it to be added to my collection. In the back I got another variation of Voltron. I forgot which version this one is. The one over here, this is the Titan King of Beasts Voltron. This one is actually a third-party Voltron. Over here you got Diorama. This is from Ochigoken lineup, and I'm just so happy I got him. I want to thanks to Eddie from Toy Dojo for helping me up and getting this guy. Next up is a third-party Voltron. This is Fantasy Jewel. This one came out almost a year ago. It's kind of like imitating the Ochigoken version of Voltron. So I decided to get this one instead, and I am very happy with this one. Have him on a display that really is originally from Gundam. Then here you got Voltron from Netflix. This is the Legendary Defender. This is the new DreamWorks version, and he lights up and he just looks pretty cool. Then you got here a Bandai Kit Voltron. This one is from Super Mini Pan. This one you got to build it and you got to paint it. You got to assemble it from scratch. So I actually enjoyed building him. It was my first first of a kind for me, because I never really built Gundams, and this was very much similar to a Gundam build. So this was pretty cool. You can take them apart, or you can put them as Voltron as well. Got some Lego Voltrons as well, and then here's some. This is a display case of the weapons for Diorama. That was very cool. And then here you got the original Voltron. There's actually 3 of these that when you combine them together becomes a big Voltron. So I got the black one, still missing the red one and the blue one. Moving right along, these are my 1/4 scale Voltrons and a mixture of my vintage Voltrons. So starting from left to right, we got Legendary Defender, 1/4 scale. He's beautiful, he's huge. He also has some lights and he makes sounds. This Voltron right here is my WIP Voltron. He's from 1984. He's actually one of my oldest figures in my collection, and I can't believe I still have him. So it's pretty cool to see this guy still hold up this whole time. This Voltron is from Playmates. This is a recent, I want to say this one's maybe like 2 years old, and it's a little bit more plastic, but it's pretty cool as well, and it makes sounds, especially when you take it apart. Here is this is my Toonami EX Voltron. This guy is actually bigger than 1/4 scale, so I actually kind of had to give him in this pose so I could fit him in the shelf, and he's definitely a little bit more evolved, a little bit more up to date. Beautiful painting on it, beautiful shines on it as well. Now here we got some vintage Voltrons. Here you got some Voltrons in their lion form. Here in the back you got some die-cast Voltrons, die-cast also die-rugs. And over here, this is actually a knockoff, but it's pretty badass knockoff. So I decided to get him as well. These are some more vintage Voltrons. This is the die-cast version of this one right here, but I'm missing the arms, and they're actually very expensive to find. Got some pop toys of the new Voltron, and here you got some characters. These are the characters of Legendary Defender, not Defender of the Universe. And I was disappointed that they discontinued this line because they didn't finish releasing the other characters. So these are the 3 that you're able to get. Here is Legendary Defender from Netflix, and they're in lion form, and just decided to show them as lions. And then back here you have a bigger pop toy of Legendary Defender. And here you got also, this was random, I found him at a regular store and he's just made out of rubber. I don't know if he's an eraser, but it's Voltron, so decided to get him. We're right along, and here we got my Karate Kid collection. And man, I'm so excited that NECA really I just can't believe that NECA made these guys, because I am a huge Karate Kid fan. I grew up watching Karate Kid in New Jersey. NECA made these soft toys right here. So you got John Kreese, it's an exclusive. You got Johnny Lawrence, and you got Karate Kid. You got Daniel LaRusso, and this is when they're in the tournament. You can see right there, he's holding the trophy. Now over here, these are very impressive. These are icon heroes. Karate Kid. This is the packaging that comes with these soft toys. So I decided to have these guys right here fighting. And here you can see the poster of the All Valley Karate Kid Championships. And then here, this is actually random. I saw it at a thrift store. And this is the Miyagi-Do kind of drums. If you watch part 2, they use this as a form of teaching their karate. Now here's more soft toys or soft cloths from NECA, and here you got Mr. Miyagi. And I love Mr. Miyagi. Like, just NECA did a great job in capturing him in his entirety. It's just great to see him. He's so tiny and he just looks so just perfect. And here you got Daniel LaRusso, you know, working on the bonsai trees. And here you got Johnny Lawrence in their Halloween costume as the skeleton. Some of you guys are curious about this fence. Believe it or not, I got these at the dollar store. There's a craft section in the dollar store, and they just have different things like these crates. They got picture frames, and they got these fence right here. And I just decided to buy a whole bunch of them to make the backyard of Mr. Miyagi's house. And back over here, you got a new exclusive of Daniel LaRusso, and you could tell here that he is all beat up, he's scarred up, and just like a dirty version, the battle damage version of Daniel LaRusso from the tournament. And this is a Go exclusive. And then finally, I got here is the 19854 Ford from the movie. Now this is custom. You can watch my video of me repainting this. This was originally black, and I decided to paint it just like the one in the movie. Moving right along, here we got my Ren and Stimpy collection. When I was little, I grew up watching Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead, as MTV was pretty big back in the early 80s and 90s. So these guys are the inspiration of SpongeBob and other cartoons. They're definitely very raunchy. They got interesting humor, and yeah, I just love these guys. Back here, as you can see, I got the Super 7s, and I decided to keep them in their package just because I just love the packaging on this. Here you got Ren. You know, the packaging looks like they're opening his mouth, and they have the character inside the mouth. Same thing with Stimpy. Over here, you got different variations of these small Ren and Stimpy. Here you got Powder Toast Man, you got Ren and Stimpy, you got the horse, you got the boogers, you got the fish, you got Ren and Stimpy from the episode when they're firefighters, and much more. In the back, you got, it's called, I think it's Play. They started making Ren and Stimpys, and these are actually very rare and expensive, so I decided to keep them in their package. And here's some more. Here you got the horse, and here you got Ren. We're right along. Here we got a miscellaneous shelf with a whole bunch of classic movie title characters, and let's start off with Princess Bride. Over here you got Wesley, and this is actually a McFarlane from the early 2000s, and it was the only one they made from the whole movie. And this is actually a very old figure, and now McFarlane decided to make the whole cast. So you have Inigo Montoya, you got Andre the Giant, you got Buttercup, and you got also Wesley. Very cool to have in your collection. Now back here, McFarlane's killing it with more of the classics, and here you got Adam West Batman with Robin in the classic Batmobile. I couldn't believe he's releasing the vehicles as well, so McFarlane is killing it with some of these classic toys. In the back you got National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. Here you got Clark as the Chainsaw Clark, and you got Clark as Santa. Next up here you got my Bill and Ted collection, and Bill and Ted is a classic from when I was growing up, of these two guys doing a book report or just a report on history, and they meet Rufus, where they get this phone booth and they travel back in time and start talking to those famous characters. Here you can see the Toy Biz ones that come with the booth, or they made a booth for him. In the back you see some pop toys of them, and also you got NECA making the cartoon version of Bill and Ted. Now these are NECA's soft cloth of Bill and Ted, and the booth that you see here is actually a custom build by Longshore Spike. He's a fellow creator from our community, and I commissioned him to make this one for me. Definitely beautiful, and check this out. Boom, you can actually light it up in however color you want, and I just thought it was really cool to actually have this built and added to my collection. Next up here, and this is random, but this is Cyberpunk, and you see here Keanu Reeves, and the reason why I have him here is because it's Keanu Reeves, and also he has a guitar. So at first I was like, you know what, this could be the older Bill and Ted, and it could be. So that was the reason why I have him here, but I need a Bill. So, but whatever. Here is his partner from the video game, and on the side here is so random, but I got the Universal Studio monsters, and this is Frankenstein. I actually can't wait for the rest of them. You got the Mummy, you got also Werewolf Man, and much more coming up in the future. So I'm excited for those. Alright, now let's talk about the centerpiece right here. This guy. This is Akira in his Akira bike. Now this is a huge accomplishment for me, because this bike is actually old, and it was running for $2,000, and then recently the company decided to re-release the bike at the original price that it was marked for, so I was able to finally get him. And again, I want to thank Toy Dojo for obtaining this guy for me. So now Kaneda is complete in his form in his bike, and this bike is actually a sideshow toy. Here you got Master Universe, you got He-Man, and you got Battle Cat, and I just thought it's just a beautiful Battle Cat. It's just a beautiful just toy, and this is from Netflix, from the Master Universe Revelation. So this is actually one of my favorite toys right now that I wanted to display in the center case. Over here you guys are gonna get a sneak peek of one of my next dials I'm gonna create, and that is Godzilla versus King Kong. So here I'm just kind of placing things, collecting some micro machines. Here's some miniature people, and here in the back you see a burned down building. So yeah, so I'm planning to actually create a dial for these guys this year. Here is a poster. This is a special gift from Cult Creation. I want to say thanks to him, because this is just a badass illustration from the movie, from part 1. And I love about this is that they made it into a comic book type of style. So definitely love it. Everybody knows that I'm into Nightmare on Elm Street, so I just have it in my centerpiece of my display case. Next up we have the Predator, the jungle version. This is from the first movie. So here you can see the Predator just ripped off the head, and he's just kind of like celebrating for winning. You know, it's a game for him. He's hunting them and taking their spines for trophy type of purposes. So I thought that was a classic pose there. And here you got Duke, Arnold Schwarzenegger, just hiding from him from the back of the tree. Over here you can see it's the skinless body that's hanging from the tree. And here you got a Comic-Con exclusive of Billy. This is actually a very rare figure to get, but I was able to get him. Up here you got the translucent Predator, and he's up in the trees. And in the back, it's hard to see, but I actually got Duke in his mud form when he's fighting the Predator. And this guy here is random. This is a new figure from McFarlane, and this is Swamp Thing. I just thought it fit really well with this setup. And the one thing I'm really impressed is that this is supposed to be 112, and he's the same height as the 1/6 scale figures. So he's just huge, and I just decided to put him in my collection here with the Predator. Next up, we got V for Vendetta. Strength through unity, unity through faith. And this is a famous scene where in the movie he comes out and saves Natalie Portman. Here he's talking to her about the government and everything that's going on. And I just thought it was a great movie, but also when I obtained this figure, I was like, I gotta build this classic scene. So this was definitely one of my favorite dials that I created last year. Now next up, that this collection is getting out of hand, but this is my Master of the Universe collection. It's getting pretty big. Now Mattel decided to re-release them. I was actually in the process of collecting the original ones because my mom gave them away when I was little, and I was able to obtain a lot of them, but now that they're doing the re-release with the articulations, I'm collecting those as well. So it's pretty cool to see that we get to recollect some of these nostalgic figures from our childhood. Alright, so let me start from the top. Here you got, this is actually the classic Castle of Grayskull, the original one. And then here you got He-Man, you got the Sorceress, you got Igor, you got She-Ra, and much more. Down here you got the third wave of the Netflix Revelation series. There in the back you got Skeletor in the battle form. Here you got the land shark vehicle. Here you got some more of the Revelation figurines. Man of Arm, Tila, and you got the Beast. Up here you got the Raider vehicle. And then up here I left these guys because I actually have them already. From the original ones, and I decided to keep these guys in their package. That was pretty cool because I've never seen a variation with multiple heads, so I just decided to keep them in their package. The movie, this is Master Universe the movie, and here you go Rolf Lundgren as He-Man, and here you got God Skeletor, and you got his minions. Alright. This is a classic movie, and I decided to get them all. It's just so cool to be able to get them, and I want to say thanks to Super 7 because they killed it with these toys. Now here's a mixture of some of the vintage classics that I've had since I was younger that I was able to obtain, and then also got some variations of different ones that were released. In the back you got the Filmation ones, you got the classic re-release, you got the 2000X versions. So it's just a mashup of all the different variations of Master of the Universe right here. Moving right along, we got Ghostbusters. So here you got the whole team. You also got the Demon Dogs. Here you got also the Stay Puft right here. Here you got also a Slimer. This is not Hasbro. This is actually, I just don't know what it is. I saw him randomly when I was going to GameStop, and I thought it fit perfectly well with the Hasbro toys. So definitely very cool. Alright, the next shelf here is a continuation of the Ghostbusters, and these are vintage. These are all vintage. I actually had all of these when I was little, and I was so excited that they re-released them, and it was just so cool to see them in their package, because I do remember the package very well, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, so I decided just to get them all and keep them in their package. It just brought so much memories when I was a kid. So here's the Ecto-1 from the original toy line, and I can't believe they re-released it. So finally I got him back. This Ecto-1, this is from the Afterlife movie, the one that just recently came, and they decided to make the vehicle, and it looks all burnt and worn out from the movie. Back here you got Slimer. It's a bobblehead, and I have him right here in front of the ghost trap, because originally I wanted to make a piece where the ghost trap is open, shining a light, capturing Slimer. So that will be something that's coming up in the future. Here you got some GIJOE vehicles, and these are die cast of the Ecto-1. Moving right along, here we have Back to the Future. I am so excited that we finally have these guys as figurines. The vehicles, these are from Diamond Select. I had these vehicles, but then to have the figures go along with the vehicle is just perfect. So the figures are from NECA, and here you got Marty checking the time. Here you got him in his suit. Here you have him in the Enchanted of the Sea dance. His hand is, kind of disappearing. And here you got Doc Brown kind of looking in the back of the DeLorean. The DeLorean that you see here, this is from part 1. It's all icy and full of smoke. Over here you got, this is actually custom made by me. This is supposed to be where the plutonium is. So I was missing this piece from this toy, so I decided to rebuild it myself. Here you got Doc Brown from part 2 of the saga, and here he is from the future. He has his little goggles, and here you got some cash in his interesting outfit from the future. Here you got Marty in his outfit with the hoverboard, and in the back you got the DeLorean floating, flying. Down here you got another GIJOE toy with the actual hook. The hook is from the first movie, where he just attaches onto the wires from the clock tower to travel back in time. Here you got another GIJOE toy, and this one actually lights up. That was very cool. Very, very cool. This is a GIJOE toy. And you got Biff. Cool outfit holding the almanac. And this is actually from part 2 as well. And then this dial right here, this is from part 3, and this is where in the Wild Wild West, and put the DeLorean on the railroad tracks. And this figure is actually the Overwatch figure, and this is I forgot his name, but he's in that cowboy outfit, and it reminded me of the scene at the end where he's passing Doc the hoverboard. That's the reason why I kind of have him in that angle, so you don't really see his face, but you know what I'm talking about when you see it. Over here to the side, I also have the cartoon Back to the Futures made by NECA, and they're very, very cool if you've ever seen the cartoons when you were little. And in the back you got also the train. This is a random train I got at Hobby Lobby, and the plan was to make a dial of this whole setup right here, where they're trying to push the DeLorean to go back to the future. So that could be another dial coming up in the future. Now back here you got the Defender Earth, and here in the middle you see Flash Gordon. Over there you see Ming, and you got the Phantom. These guys are really cool, but I really don't know, where to display them, but maybe something in the future. Now next here you got McFarlane with his Justice League characters. McFarlane is really killing it with all these movie lineups, and here in the front you got Aquaman, Wonder Woman, you got the Flash. He's not from the movie, but here you got Green Lantern. Up here you got Cyborg, you got Zack Snyder Superman, and then you got Ben Affleck Batman. And over here, can't ignore this one. This is the Battle Suit Batman. So I thought it was really cool. And over here you got, he's like the mobster version of the Joker. So I just kind of put him right here. And then you got Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad Part 2. You got Steppenwolf from the Justice League movie. And here you got Darkseid. And I actually built this cloud to kind of look like he's traveling through a portal. And it just really puts this piece together. In the back, you got Polka Dot Man. You got King Shark. You got Peacemaker on the floor, and in the back you got Bloodsport. And over here you got King Shazam. Have him right in front of the light to kind of give an illustration of him going Shazam. And here's more McFarlane DCs. McFarlane really is just kicking ass with these. He's going a little bit crazy with the Batmans, just doing different variations, but some of them are dope and some of them are like eh. So here you got Night Batman. Here you got his designer Batman made by McFarlane, and you got other variations from different comic books, also from the Build-A-Figures, and you got the Who Is Laughing Batman. So he does a lot of variations. Here's Batgirl, and here you got Battle of Batman from Earth, I think 55. I don't remember, but that's also supposed to be Batman. And you got other variations of our signature characters. Here you got Bright. Here you got Wonder Woman. There you got Dark Knight. There you got the Joker. You got Flash and other characters in the background. Over here you got different variations of Superman. Here you got Red Superman. This one is, I believe, the Metalhead or Metal Knight Superman. And then you got Bizarro. He looks very ugly and dumb, but that's Bizarro. There's some more variations of Batman over here. And then you got some of Nightwing, Red Hood. I think this is a heavy metal Batman and his bike with the bike that looks like a actual bat. These are the classics from the Adam West version, and here you got Riddler and you got the original Joker. Back here, this is from a different multiverse, and this is from the 1989 movie of Batman Returns. And here you got Penguin, Danny DeVito, and this right here, this rubber ducky is from Roblox. So I got it just to kind of put this together. This is actually a vintage Batmobile I was able to obtain from Austin Toy Museum, so I'll give a shout out to them. And also here you got Michael Keaton Batman, and NECA made this one. This is actually a very old Batman figure from NECA. There you got the Batman and Ninja Turtle crossover Robin, and in the back you got a statuette of the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. Also there's other things like the boomerang from Batman as well that NECA is also pushing out. This is the SH Figure Arts Batman, and I have him here kind of gliding. Now in the background here you can see some of them I keep them in boxes just because I don't have any room, but also some of these are not my favorite. Like this is the Justice League video game Flash. He's okay, and here's some Batman Beyond and other versions that are actually really huge, so I decided to keep them in their package. Next up is my Superman collection, and here you got Christopher Reeves from NECA. This is the 1/4 scale, and this is my Superman. This is the one I grew up with. This is, to me, the original, the best Superman. Also, you got him in the corner dial of the Fortress of Solitude that I created 4 years ago. And also you got some other Superman like Funko Toys, Pop Toys. You got some McFarlane variations. Here you got the Target exclusive of Man of Steel, and here you got the statuette from Diamond Select, and this is Superman from the Part 2 where he is on the American flag fighting Jor-El. And at the top over here you got a magazine that shows a lot of the behind the scenes and the making and the costume of the movie, and a classic comic book of Superman. Now up here, I got the V for Vendetta mask. I just kept him in the middle of the office. I just thought he just looked badass right there. Now down the window, you got Spider-Man hanging off the window. Here you got a classic Al Pacino. He actually makes different noises or sound bites from the movie. I think I could make him.
Now say goodnight to the bad guy. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.
He's badass. If you keep pressing it, he does all the signature quotes from the movie. Here you got Zombie Captain America from the What If. Now down here, I actually have the re-release of the Castle of Grayskull. I really couldn't believe that I found them randomly at Walmart. So I'm planning to rearrange this office so that I can actually have both of them up on display. So that'll be in the future. Now back on top, we have Fortnite. I play Fortnite religiously. Fortnite is definitely one of my favorite games that really is just stepping outside the box. So got some of the classic characters, and also I got the famous boss. Okay, and you got Banana Man. He's injured, he's on the floor, so someone has to revive him. Next up, we have my Bob Ross section. Bob Ross is, I watched him when I was little, watching him paint happy little trees with his soft-spoken voice. Definitely very encouraging and one of my favorite idols, and he's my inspiration. Here you got NECA cartoon versions of Bob Ross, and here you got a pop toy of Deadpool as Bob Ross. So that was pretty funny from the movie. And here you got some bobbleheads and some other memorabilias or just merchandise of Bob Ross, like the Chia Pet. And then up here, you got some portraits. These are actually puzzles that my girlfriend put together for me, and I decided to hang them in frames. So she is awesome for doing that for me. Up here, I completely forgot. Here we got Garbage Pail Kids. When I was younger, I used to collect the cards with the bubble gum, and they have really interesting raunchy illustrations. And here's Atom Bomb from Super 7. So I just decided to leave him in this package because it reminds me of the packaging when you collect the cards. Back over here we have me. I decided to create a character of myself. I'm learning how to create figurines, and this was a good start for me to start learning. Got a custom head, got the wardrobe, and I even gave him a little Michelangelo toy. So I thought it was pretty cool and a great way to start customizing figurines. Now down here, these are miscellaneous. Just don't know where to put them. This is from BioShock. Here is Big Daddy with Rose, and it's just this game was really cool. That was really dope. He's actually pretty big, so I just kept him in the package, and I'm using him kind of like almost like a shelf to have him on top. Here you got also Jaws. Here you got Quinn, and then here you got from the horror Toon Terrors, and here you got Finn with Jaws. For those that know my favorite show, The Office, and I just started collecting all the memorabilia that are coming out. Here you got the actual Dundee Award, and here you got a Lego version of The Office space. Here you got some variation of some Lego-ish type of toy company here, and here you got Kevin dropping the chili. Here you got Pam, walking on coals. Here you got Jim at the church, and you got Dwight, planting some beets in his farm. Also, you got, I forget the name of this toy line, but here you got Michael Scott. Here you got Pam, and here you got Dwight. And there's a keychain with all the different sound bites of Michael Scott. And here we got more Sylvester Stallone figures, and here you got the original First Blood Rambo. Now here you got him with the gun, and then here you got the same character that I customized, where he is wearing that poncho while he's fighting the cops. Now this is my custom Cobra. It's a classic movie, and he is a cop, kind of like a renegade cop, and he's driving this badass vehicle right here. So very proud of this one. I definitely went all out on this one just to get the likeness of him. You got so I got my girlfriend a Hello Kitty Lego. She loves Hello Kitty and she left it, so that's why it's right here. And over here, so this is actually a canvas of a subway that my sister got me, and I painted it as the Miami Metro Rail system train, and the piece. And this one's special to me because I grew up doing graffiti, and here is a Fortnite character that basically is supposed to be me doing graffiti, and I have him with a tiny spray can and his book bag. So I thought that was pretty cool to have him represent above my table. Next up is the Loft. Here is a space that I'm turning into a gallery where I have some of my illustrations, some of the posters that I've collected, and here contributions from my girlfriend with her puzzles and her daughter with her beautiful Ninja Turtle painting. So here's just a collection of just posters and also some figurines that I'm using as a kind of a gallery style space. So let's start off with my vehicles. I have a vehicle collection. Some are die cast and some are not. Here's my mask. These guys are inspired. This car right here specifically, the Firebird, is inspired by the DeLorean from back in the 80s. Here you got Kit from Knight Rider. This police car is the Miami-Dade Police Department car, and this is from Dexter. These toys right here are die cast from Jada. This Monte Carlo is the cop car from Terminator 2. Here you got the Supra from Fast and the Furious 1. Here you got Tokyo Drift, the VLSI RX-7. You got the Skyline R34, the Paul drove. And here you got the white R33 Skyline as well. This is actually a custom build of the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 bus. This is the Freddy bus. You can actually watch the creation of this piece on my channel. Also I got here is the Batmobile. This is a classic car. Here are some monies that I've created. It's just monies are like empty canvases, kind of like pop toys, and you can paint them however you want. And over here you got more masks, and here you got Baby Yoda riding the mask car. Now over here, I just want to talk about some of the posters up here. These are actually puzzles. My girlfriend has a hobby, and it's her puzzle hobby. She loves puzzles, and she's contributing to my gallery. So here are some moments in the 80s, because I am an 80s baby. And here you got some of the classic 80s and 90s movies as a collage. Here are some paintings that I've created in the past. Here's some illustrations that I bought at Comic-Con of the Mario Brothers. Here is a painting that my girlfriend's daughter did. It's so amazing, I like it. And here you got also another puzzle, and it's The Office. For those that know, I love The Office. So I mentioned I was a graffiti artist when I was younger in Miami, and here are some canvases that I did of my name Drip. That's my tag, and that's where it actually originated from. So these are Mobius pieces. They're 3D pieces of my name. Down here you got some animated cells from the Akira movie. Here you got Kaneda on his bike, and here you got Tetsuo on his throne. This is a really cool piece. H.R. Giger is actually an amazing artist. He's no longer with us, and he's the one responsible for Alien. And here is a piece that McFarlane actually made here as a display, and I kept them in the box in entirety. This is actually a very important piece in his collection that I wanted to have, and it's very sexualized, and it's also kind of like bio-engineered type of style. So very organic, very just out of this world. And here are just movies. Y'all know I love Ninja Turtles, so here's some of the classic movie posters. Here you got Secret of the Use from Part 2. Here you got also Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. Here's some portraits of Freddy, and here's a portrait of Superman, Christopher Reeves with the red eyes. Up here, this is a new collection. Definitely am a hip hop head, so you know when I was growing up, Biggie and Tupac were those top artists that I used to listen to all the time. And here is the Ready or Die, and Pop Toys turned the CD cover into a display case. And here you got the baby as a pop toy. That was really cool. Here you got Funkos doing a Biggie, and here you got also Super 7 with the reaction figures. And I love the card. I love the style that how they make these toys. So I just keep them in their package. And here you got Tupac Shakur from Funko. Up here, these are two of the classic drawings from the first movie. Here you got April O'Neil drawing Donatello, and you also have Leo when he is looking after Raph after he got beat up. Here are more things that I have displayed. Up here are the NECA soft toys or soft cloth figurines, and these are the cards that come in the package, and I thought they were so just amazing. They're very well illustrated, and I just thought it was just not doing any justice just to keep them in the box, so I put them all together in this picture frame so you could appreciate the illustrations. Very cool, very cool. Here you got Street Fighter, one of my favorite fighting games. And here you got, this is actually a present from my nephew, and this is one of the variants of the Avengers. Okay, so these are just the different variants of the Avenger that my nephew got me. Thank you, nephew. Here's some other posters that I got at Comic-Cons, and here's a canvas that I did of the Ninja Turtles maybe like 10 years ago, and I just kept it. Here you got Tetsuo from Akira, and then here you got a poster of Stranger Things. This one's very cool. And here you got an interesting one of Superman and Bizarro. Next up is my Michael Jackson collection. I grew up dancing, and Michael Jackson is my dancing idol, the king of pop. Been watching him since I was little and mimicked his dance moves and just started to really get inspired by dancing, and from break dancing, popping and locking, and Michael Jackson was the guy that inspired me to start dancing. Here are some of Michael Jackson Barbie dolls that I've collected. Here's some of the pop-up books. Here you got some Rolling Stone magazines where he's dancing Billie Jean. This is it, DVD, also the VIP badge for the concert, and also DVDs of all his music videos. Also you have here is some of its action figures. This is the HR Figure Arts, SH Figure Arts of Michael Jackson in Thriller. Also you have one right here of him in Moonwalker from Smooth Criminal, doing that lean move that he's known for. Also, I got these small like statuettes of Michael Jackson in some of his famous poses from different music videos and concerts. Now here's the centerpiece of some of the feature dials that I wanted to just display over here. So let me start from the top, and here you got my Samurai Showdown tree diorama, and here you got Hamaru from Samurai Showdown, and here you got Hanzo from World Heroes. These guys are Storm collectibles. They're killing it with the video game genres, and I have to collect them all. Now here you got Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, from porch of Freddy's kind of house, and here you got a mashup of the Trick or Treat kid and the Halloween kids just doing trick or treating in front of Freddy's house. I have this girl from Grindhouse, and she was originally displayed here to be a victim for Freddy, but decided to now hang these guys up here. Now down here you have the dark hallway from The Conjuring, and you got the nun, and she's ready to come after the twins from The Shining. So I thought it was a really cool piece. Pretty creepy actually, with this lighting right here. Next up, this one actually just one of my favorites, and I know I keep saying these are my favorite, but this one, man, I had to. This figure doesn't exist. I custom made this figure because The Ring is one of my favorite Japanese horror films that really creep me out, and I just decided to, you know, make a piece for this genre or for this movie, and it got inspired by co-creation by creating a diorama inside an actual TV. So here you can see the well where Samara comes out, and this is a custom figure of Samara. You have some water coming out, and here's the VHS that you have to watch and copy and distribute. And here is a Lego version of Samara. And right here, real random, I got a plush toy of the hoverboard that just, I didn't know where to put him, so I instead put him right here. And to move on to the man cave, I want to talk about this frame right here. My girl gave me this for Christmas, and I love this piece. And me and her play this game whenever we see a car with a license plate from a different state, we hit each other. So she found this one, and man, we're smacking each other left and right because of this one. But I love it, and it says man cave, so this is just awesome. And now we go to the actual man cave.